Welcome back to DFW Close-Up. Technology is ever-changing and continues to evolve, and as do ways for hackers to shake up your personal life and information. Jeff Farr is the president of Farr Systems and shares great insight that might just help us stay technologically safe. Thanks for being here this morning.
My pleasure.
Very relevant with all the iPads, iPhones, everything else going on in our world these days.
That's right.
Let's talk about identity theft. That's really a huge deal, and maybe
Absolutely.
how we can protect ourselves and prevent that.
Identity theft is, in the last several years, has become a huge multi-billion-dollar market. It's even gotten into organized crime. So, the reason is, if I wanted to be a criminal in the past, and let's say for whatever reason, I wanted to steal some money, they'd go to the convenience store, they'd get a gun, and they would do something, and they might go make $500. The police are going to get involved. There's definitely going to be a problem. There's a lot of risk there. Well, if they steal a few credit cards, then they'll make 4 times that money. The police are probably not going to get involved, and they're not going to get caught, and it's a lot easier. So that has skyrocketed. So they're looking at all the angles of how they can get your information. The two holy grails really in identity theft is your social security number and your birth date. Okay? There are other things they want, but those are the two things they really want.
So how do we protect ourselves?
How you protect yourselves? 2 or 3 things. Let's just talk about the average person. So if you have a smartphone, which is the iPhone or the Android or other things, but if you have a smartphone, then you're going to be doing that in your car. You're going to do it at Starbucks. You're going to be doing things other than your phone. Well, when you go to a network, if you go to the Starbucks and you sit down, that network may or may not be very secure. And so if you go to, let's say you go check your bank account, well, you've gone through a network that's unsecure. And so they can look and see some of that data.
Are we able to tell if it's secure or not? How are we able to tell?
You really can't.
And you don't want to risk it probably.
You don't want to risk it. So here's what I would say. If I'm at Starbucks, here's what I do. And I want to check my stocks or something that's got his sensitive data, I turn Wi-Fi off. And I go to the cellular data network. So just like I was in the car. It's a lot harder for a hacker to, as a matter of fact, it's very hard. It's a very high skill level to actually look at somebody who's on the cellular network, AT&T's or Verizon's, as opposed to the little coffee shop who's put a Wi-Fi network in to share their internet access.
Very good information to know.
Right.
Let's talk about hackers
Okay.
too. What are their motivations? There's different kind of hackers. Give us the rundown.
Okay. There's different tiers. There are simple guys like teenagers who are trying to be nuisance. Those are like vandals. Think of people who spray paint the walls. That's just them being nuisance. As you get higher, it's all about money. It's criminal activity. And it gets more and more elaborate. So maybe it's stealing a few credit cards and numbers and they sell them. As you get bigger, then it gets into much more advanced, like trying to steal from banks, trying to steal from Visa, MasterCard. Like I said, it's even gotten, a lot of the organized crime have gone into this in a big way.
It's really scary because also, there's just a big report out there how if you have an iPhone, these things are expensive, but we want them. We want to be up to date with technology and with it, but people are eyeing these. Robbers are eyeing these
They really are.
Going for them.
There's a new thing that was just announced that all of the cell phone carriers, Verizon, AT&T, and so forth, they're going to start sharing their database when a phone is stolen. So the reason is there's such a black market. If you go back a few years, a cell phone cost $50 or whatever. Well, most people are not going to put a gun in your face for a $50 item. They might, but
I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah, you never know.
But if you have a $800 phone, they're going to try to steal that. Also because they can take it, let's say it's a Verizon phone, they can go put it on the Sprint's network. Sprint doesn't know that it was stolen. Somebody shows up and says, I'd like to activate my phone. They said, fine, I bought it from a buddy. And so they activate it. So now what they're doing, in conjunction with the FCC, the governmental agency, they're putting together a database that if it's stolen in Verizon, that number, the phone's ID goes in a database, and Sprint can look and say, wait a minute, that phone's stolen. So what they're going to do is take the market away because this theft is accounting for, New York City just put out a report, 30% of the robberies were for cell phones,
Yeah, that's
smartphones.
big time.
So,
Anything
yeah.
you can show us real quick on the iPad or the iPhone
Sure.
that we might not be aware of, something new?
Well, you know, these are items that I think are important. Number one, use a password. I know that it's a little bit cumbersome, but the reason is that on a phone or an iPad, people have your kids' pictures, where you live, your bank account, your stock. There's all kinds of sensitive data on this. So if you just leave it at Starbucks, they're looking for it. You just forget it for a second, it'll be gone. The airport, it's a huge theft issue. So it's as simple as just put a little password in. Whether or not you use a password or whether you use a number, that's a setting in these devices, okay? So that's easy. The other thing is download the app that's called Find My iPhone or Find My iPad, okay? So let's say somebody took this device, my iPhone, and they stole it. And it's down the road. I can log into this, and I can click this and simply say, find Jeff's iPhone. And what it'll do, it just went to your station here at John Carpenter Freeway, and so it said Jeff's phone is here.
Wow.
Which is great.
I love that.
Matter of fact, about not too long ago, a guy had stolen somebody's car, and the man had left the phone was in the car.
Oh,
So
that's a good thing.
about 15 minutes later, the police pull up on him because he had activated Find My iPhone and essentially told the police exactly where to go and arrest the guy.
Well, it's interesting. You know, technology can be a good and bad thing these days. You just got to be aware. And thank you for your insight today and all this great information,
Absolutely.
Jeff. Great to have you on the show.
You bet.
And you can check out farsystems.com for assistance on anything information technology related.